Left in Limbo. Deck of cards here. And it can be borrowed and actually shuffled by a spectator beforehand. So, pretty cool. And shuffling carelessly because I want to show a shuffled manner. I have a fellow spectator here. I go through the cards and they just tell me when to stop whenever. And let's say they say stop here. They have the option of going further. They say yes. They say stop here. Okay. Card is selected and hopefully shown to the camera. Okay. Looking away. And the card can be tossed back, say about here. Okay. Again, shown always twice because you never know. And mix and cut. And a good shuffle. So we're actually going to use, come back to the card in a bit. Don't worry about it for right now. But we're going to use two cards. I just want everyone to remember these two cards. Let's see. They are the Ace of Diamonds and the Nine of Clubs in this case. So what we're going to do is we'll have the spectator. I would say, okay, are you left-handed, right-handed? They say right-handed. Okay, hold your hand right like this. Okay, turn it over. Okay, we're going to get these diamonds. Place your hand right on top. They do so, and I want them to secure it to make sure everything is fair and above board, everything to that nature. And then we're going to also have the Nine of Clubs. We might as well use this. So I'll hold on to 9. Just watch this. They are securely holding on to the ace, and I will just give it a spin. And I say, if I give it a spin, do you know what happens? And they go, no. If I give the card a flick, now I have the ace. Whoa, that is crazy. And that's the first thing. And they go, what's the next thing? I say, turn over your card. Or what was the name of your card? You ask them for the name of their card. And then they can actually themselves turn it over and look at the audience like so. And they are amazed that the Queen of Hearts, wow, that's crazy, actually happened to appear. And then I would say, and for anyone wondering where that ace or the 9 went, it's back in the center, like so. Even I forgot about that 9, but there it is. So in that case, that is Left in Limbo. A pretty cool little card trick. And it was supposed to have an original, it was supposed to have a deck Vanish in it, but could not find, I need to have natural misdirection from another spectator to be able to do it. So lo and behold, hey, a reverse still looks great. So before we jump into the explanation for this card trick, which I personally love, and I really want to show reactions to this and field testing because I think this is an amazing, amazing effect. If you can, give this video a like thus far because magic is awesome. So that was the performance. Now we will jump into the explanation of Left in Limbo, which is kind of fun. There's so many little quirky things about it when I was coming up with this little idea and tidbits. So, card shuffled, again, impromptu style effect. And card to be selected, really, any card. Let's say, in this case, 7 of Spades. I don't know why we're getting all classic cards, but what can you do? Queen of Hearts, 7 of Spades. Next thing you know, the Ace of Spades will pop up. Who knows? Anyways, 7 of Spades goes into the pack using your control, one of the controls we've discussed in the Academy, or whatever you prefer. So I'll just say, let's do a double undercut. We get a break off half, complete, okay. And we have it controlled to the top of the deck thus far. So now at this point, we actually, try to go away from the fact of the card selection, just going right to it. Okay, you picked it, now you're going to find it. I want to try to make this a little bit more interesting. You could even say that to them if you want, but I just want to make it personally more interesting for me. So hope I didn't make too much of a sound. So what I opted for is I said, hey, I'm going to try something cool. We're going to use like 2 cards. So I just push off 2 cards, get a break underneath the 3rd one, and I gesture with it. Do not show them because, oh my gosh, the Ace of Spades. Did I not predict that? Did I not predict that? Oh my gosh, I did not prepare this. Holy crap. This is the insane luck I get. It's crazy. Anyways, so we got the 7 of spades and the, okay. So you don't want to flash those. Wow. But you just push off, you gesture at them, get a break, and then we immediately turn all 3 cards over. So these 2 cards act as 2, we square up on the 3rd one, and we turn everything over. Okay? I usually ant trap right here. I usually turn it up, and I ant trap using my thumb. Goes right here. I believe this is the animate idea, I think. And so you got a separation right here. And then I can reposition using my forefinger right here. Thumb pushes, so you got it in this position, and then you can reposition it to a break easy. And so now that you got the break, then you can push off the top card and then gesture and talk. Now you want good contrast. You got the ace of spades, which is awesome, but then we got 6 clubs, not so much of a contrast. So you could actually just go and turn over the cards and literally choose anyone you want. Let's say I choose the 4 diamonds. I say I want better contrast. And even if you lose your break, I know you're going to lose your break, you can riffle up. No one cares at this point, at this specific point. Okay? And so you can get rid of the 6 openly and plus 4 right here. So you can get better contrast. And you're like, whoa, wait, isn't that bad? It's your card trick. You can do whatever you want. I wanted to give people that freedom to going outside logically to make the routine more satisfying for the audience, which I think is the ultimate goal, make a really entertaining routine. So we got the ace and the 4, okay? I would tell a spectator to hold their hand out, okay? Turn it over like so, okay? We're gonna place the ace right here, and they can put their hand right on top. You can even gesture right there, the ace of spades right on top, okay? And then we can be and then normally I would be misdirecting. It would be in context, you know, going from sitting. I'm normally performing standing, so this is what makes it odd for me. But I would gesture at using the 4 right here. I'll gesture to keep your hand on top, or as they're doing it, putting their hand down on top, and gesturing with the 4. I will be reversing the top card, which is the ace of spades, and I do my own personal one. I call it hip turnover. I think Robert Giobbi may have. I discovered it independently before Robert Giobbi really publicized it, based off the Royal Road to Card Magic. Card Magic's just turnover, because they usually do it on the knee, but I'm a standing performer, and a lot of other magicians do this in their stand-up work as well, turning over cards. So just pushing off the card and using your hip to turn it up like so. Okay. And there's no heat on this. Usually, if I wasn't in such a tight space with my desk right here, I would normally do this. I could gesture right here, and I could come up standing casually. And if you're doing the body motion, instead of doing it right here where people can see it, you're turning over a card, you could actually be gesturing right here with your body turned, your hand completely out of line of sight, and then I could be turning over at a moment's notice, and no one will notice, which is so good. So I got that. And then you get a break underneath it as well. So I reversed it, now I got a break underneath it. And you gestured at that, all the tension was here, you're dressing it, you've done the turnover, and then you just merely, using your thumb, pick up the card from over here, but towards the audience. So this is what it looks like. Thumb goes right on top. But that's the side view exposing it. From the front, looks like so. Boom. And just attach it, and it looks just like you're at taking that 4 diamonds, putting it on the pack. Okay? So now we turn it over, and now we can do a pirouette, or we can actually, you have the option. Pirouette if you're advanced. This is a Dan Dave technique, so I don't know if I can even teach that. But you could also just do a simple wave like this. This also just looks so beautiful. Doing a slow wrist, like just using your wrist. It just looks so beautiful. Actually, wrist and arm. Yeah, it just looks so beautiful. I say, and if I give a little wave like this, do you know what happens? And they go, no. And this is something I didn't mention in performance. You say 2 things. First is that ace has now jumped to my hand, and you can showcase like this as you put into the center. And at this point, they're like, no way. And then they're about to lift up and check out the card. You pause. You can ask them to pause for a second, and you can ask for the name of the card. And so then when they turn it over, it revealed the 7 of spades, the selection from earlier. But also while they're doing that, this is misdirection time, so you can be able to clean up for the grand ending. This could be a closer, or this could be a one-off trick. It's really interesting how you get into this position while you're all in an impromptu routine. So as they're starting to lift up and turn over, and when they start to turn over, all the focus will be right here. And it's at this point, after I've put the ace of spades into the deck, I've gotten a break underneath the top card of the pack, and I grip it in a, I would say a biddle grip. Yeah, I believe it's a biddle grip. Biddle grip with the forefinger curled in specifically. It's going to aid it. Now, if you do this and you square the whole deck, and so you got a break underneath, and so we got the whole grip right here, but we still maintain the separation with our thumb from the back end. It looks like this. Thumb is going diagonally across, like so. So it would look like this in the back end. Hopefully it catches on camera. Let's see. Yes. Oh, oops. There we go. So that's just what it looks like. I got a break on it, and I'm ready to go from mechanics grip where the deck is at, and a normal mechanics grip, and take it back to a gambler's cop, and ready to cop off the entire deck, just leaving that with the top card right here. And so I'm going to give that illusion that the whole deck is right here when it's only a single card. And how to do this depends less on the technique, believe it or not, but giving the perception of the whole entire deck. Now, if you square this perfectly, it just looks like a single card. But with like if you do this, yeah, it looks like an entire deck. But squared, it really gives the perception of a single card. So when they start to turn over the deck and I come back, so I bring the deck from mechanics grip where it was at after putting the ace of spades inside. So going back, let me go back. This is the first surprise. I put it in here, square it on up. I get my break I riffle from the back and get my top card break. Okay. And then I mention their card. They mention their card. I can transfer it to one hand biddle grips, maintain that grip, and ready to gambler cop with the dominant hand. And as soon as they turn over, so as soon as the focus goes to right here, I'm copying the deck off, leaving a single card right here, tilting it so it gives the perception of the entire deck right here. And so I'm copying it off, and I'm ditching it in my pocket casually. And I'm coming right back. Now it looks obvious doing that, and this is why I'm doing live performances and actually showcasing this beautiful idea and routine, everything all together. But the misdirection is so strong with the card, there's a little focus on me, and not only that, the focus, all of the move is covered by the body shift, so you can't even see it. So again, let me actually grab all the cards out. Okay. Okay, got the break. They turn it over. Okay. And then I can actually just cop with the shade being right here. Ditch. And there's no heat, like no one's even looking at my hands at that point. So I could even flash a little and it'll still be fine, which is wonderful. So ditched my pocket. They turn over and they're reacting. And then you are at this point, you could be single card right here. You don't want to bend it too much or show off that there's nothing there. We just have it here and no one's thinking the wiser. Okay, I'm trying to keep it in angle frame for the sharpness. And then when it comes time and people are blown away and they come to, you say, oh yeah, and that 4 of diamonds from earlier. Let's give it a squeeze. And then you can actually show the card. So it'll make sense once you see it in context, so you can actually see it. I wish I could have done it, but again, I need a second spectator to fully give the idea some logic and I will have never seen it. You know, it's hard to conceptualize. So let me get the ace of diamonds and let's see, 4 diamonds. Here we go. Okay, So we're going back to our selection. Let's go back a bit. So, here we go. Okay. So we got the card box there. And this is a great routine which can be done in most conditions. So like you're just walking around, you know, strolling, everything. This is great. I just love this piece, even as an interlude or a closer. So ace of spades, okay. Palm up, turn your palm down right here, okay. Got the ace of spades set right there. Okay, put your hand right on top. We want to secure it, okay. Make it all fair. Good, thank you. And also the 4 diamonds, I'll hold on to the 4, okay. So check this out. If I give it a spin, if I give the card a spin, all right, here, do you know what happens? Oops, they have their hand on top. Do you know what happens when I give the card a spin? There you go, no. It turns into the ace of spades. Isn't that so cool? They're like, oh my gosh, no way. Yeah, check, and what was the name of your card, sir? And then they lift and they turn over and they're reacting to that 7 of spades, which is amazing. And there's no other spectators, so it makes it a little more difficult to do this. Normally, it'd be a little bit easier. And then from here, and there you go. Oh yeah, in case you're wondering about that, 4 diamonds. It's right here. And then the people are wondering, wait, what? The deck's gone? That's crazy. And you would have this card box put away. I'm just using it as a representation of the spectator. So all you'd be left with is these 2 cards, and it's just like, no deck, everything's gone. People are reacting like, what? That's crazy. And I'm just like, yeah, there you go. And it's so awesome. But put these in the opposite pocket, making it look like there's a deck in here when it's actually in this jacket pocket. And you're left with a really, really wonderful moment at the end. Just whole deck goes, their cards found, cards jumped, all within a span of like 2 to 3 minutes, which is really, really awesome. So I hope all these details were good. Oh, and the final other detail, which I forgot about, the reverse. Let's say we opted for the reverse. Danny, how could you forget? My apologies. So let's go back. 7 of spades. So after we've done, so we set this down, okay. We'll just use this card box. Let's say we don't have the gall to do the ditching in the jacket pocket, which is pretty well covered. Okay, in that case, then you can do this little segue. Normally I'd be covered, but it's a little bit hard for me to turn. So let's just say they put their hands on top. There's misdirection there. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, we've got the 4. Put it over. Spin. Boosh. It changes. That's part 1 you mentioned. Okay, and then they can check out that card. That card is their selection, and they are freaking out. And you can be casually relaxing as you do the reverse, which is just a Browy reverse, and then you can spread. So to cover the Browy reverse, and there, this is the card, in case anyone was wondering, you had mentioned to them. So for the Browy reverse, you just, again, I've covered in a previous one, but a break on top, half the pack, turn over face up, keeping a break below the selection. Okay, take it at the break, turn the rest of the cards face up, the selection being left face down, and square it all up, turn the pack over, wait for the opportune moment, and then spread. Believe it or not, while it doesn't seem like much, this is how I fooled Dean Dill, using a Browy reversal. Well, the routine itself is called Forced Spectators. I need to do an update video on that one. But yeah, that routine fooled Dean Dill before he passed on. God rest his soul. He was an amazing individual. So, with all that said, I hope you enjoyed Left in Limbo. Both outs I use personally. The Browy reversal in the cases where, yeah, situations like this where misdirection is needed from another spectator but isn't there. You got the Browy reversal and then the deck ditch, which is so cool. And just a wonderful impromptu card trick you can play with, or mix up, mash, whatever. I just want to create a conversation of fun card tricks and just sharing them all around. I think it's just so fun. Anyway, with that said, hope everyone's having a wonderful day. And if you haven't checked it out yet, check out this video right here. And I will see you in the next one.